Hey YouTube, Richician 84 here of Team Sorcerers, and I'm doing an updated deck profile for my Stardust junk deck. Oh, and this, by the way, is Stump, one of a few Squishmallows that I knew. Yeah, he's saying hi. So yeah, this does have like pretty much all the support cards from Duelist Nexus. Let's have him up here. So it's probably not a perfect build, but yeah, and I will only explain what the newer cards do. I can't remember when I last profiled this deck. It must have been some point before Assault Synchron came along. But anyway, we have, for the Stardust monsters, 2 copies of Stardust Synchron, 1 copy of Trail, and then for the junk part, 2 copies of Junk Servant, because it's an easy special summon. Oh, there's a bit of a glare there, I apologise, I'm right next to a window. Then 3 copies of Junk Converter. Wow, there is quite a glare. Didn't pick a good spot, did I? I don't remember if I said this before, but Express Gaming did recommend I play 3 of it, so that's what I'm doing, even though they're in odd rarities. And then for the bridge that connects the junk cards and the synchron cards, we also have Junk Synchron. Okay, maybe I should just move this a little bit. Oh my god, this is a disaster. And there's still a glare. Nope, that's not going to do it. Oh, there we go, that actually fixes it. So yeah, 3 copies of Junk Synchron, one of the best tuners in the deck. Then a single copy of Jet. And here's one of the new cards, Wheel Synchron. So this is what I replaced Quick Draw Synchron with. Yeah, I love how they based it off both Yusei and his Duel Runner. So here's his effect. If this card you control is used as a synchro material, you can treat it as a non-tuner, which I kind of put that down to stop the glare. It's alright, I'll put it back afterwards.
I thought you wanted some more light.
No, I need less light. But thanks anyway.
Okay. This is nice.
So as I was saying, if this card is used as a synchro material, I can treat it as a non-tuner, which can be helpful for making level 8s. And you can only use each of the following effects of Wheel Synchron once per turn. During your main phase, immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon 1 level 4 or lower monster. Also, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn, except synchro monsters, which is perfectly fine because it's a synchro deck. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target a synchro monster you control, reduce its level by up to 4. So, if anything, it can kind of help go into one of the new synchros, Cosmic Quasar Dragon, which I'll get to later. Sorry, Stump. And here's one of the other new cards, Revolution Synchron. I've only used 1 of his effects so far. Have you fought it? Dirty bum bag.
I'll pull your blind up and then I'll fart.
So yeah, the effects of Revolution Synchron are, if you control a Power Tool monster or a level 7 or 8 Dragon monster, this card in your hand can also be used as material. That's the effect I didn't use last night. So maybe I can get in one more game where I show that effect off. Despite the fact that I plan to retire this after showcasing all the new cards. And you can only use this effect once per turn. If I control a level 7 or higher Synchro monster while this card is in your GY, you can send the top card of your deck to the graveyard, and if you use special summon this card, also its level becomes 1. You can only use this effect of Revolution Synchron once per duel. So it's supposed to be a more balanced version of Glow Up Bulb, basically. I love where they went with that. Then a single copy of Assault Synchron. This came out in Battles of Legend Monstrous Revenge. I don't think this was in the last profile. So I'll explain what it does anyway. During your main phase, you can special summon this card from your hand, then take 700 points of damage. Also, while this card is face up in the monster zone, you cannot special summon from the extra deck except Synchro monsters. If a face up Dragon Synchro you control is tributed or banished, except during the damage step, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one of those monsters and special summon it. You can only use each effect of Assault Synchron once per turn. So yeah, pretty much an extender. Then a single copy of Satellite Synchron, and then one copy of Unknown Synchron. Then a single copy of Synchron Explorer, 2 copies of Doppel Warrior, then Quillbot Hedgehog, and finally Dot Scaper. So there we go, that's it for the monsters. On with the spells. So for the spells, I've now got a single copy of Stardust Illumination, just because I needed room for other things. It's alright though, one should be all that's needed. To bring up my single copy of Stardust Trail, then 3 copies of Tuning, that's a must for anything with Synchrons, then 2 copies of Synchro World, another of the new cards. This is an incredible field spell. I've not had a chance to really use its full effects though, but here's what it does. Each time a monster is synchro summoned, not just me but the opponent as well, place 2 signal counters on this card. If this card in its owner's control is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, I can special summon 1 Crimson Dragon from the extra deck. You can remove 4, 7 or 10 signal counters from the field to apply the appropriate effects. 4. Increase or decrease the level of one face-up monster you control by 1. 7. Special summon a tuner from your graveyard. 10. Special summon a synchro monster from your graveyard. Yeah, that is just so good. Then a single copy of Rota. Why I said that, it's still been limited for a while. Foolish Burial. Monster Reborn, Pod of Avarice, Regeki, and Twin Twisters. So that's it for spells. On with the traps. So for the traps, we're starting off with a single copy of Scrap Iron Sacred Statue, another of the new cards. What this does is target one of your level 7 or 8 dragon type synchros that is banished during your graveyard, special summon it but return it to the extra deck during the end phase. But that's not a problem because it's simply another way to help synchro climb. But negate its effects and return it to the extra deck during the end phase. Also, after that, set this card face down instead of sending it to the graveyard. If this set card in its own possession is destroyed by an opponent's card, you can special summon the Crimson Dragon from your extra deck. You can only use each effect of Scrap Iron Sacred Statue once per turn. And then the others you're familiar with: Starlight Road, Mirror Force, Storming Mirror Force, and 2 copies of Solemn Strike. That's it for the main deck. On with the extra deck. Starting with my level 12s. Cosmic Quasar Dragon, the new version of Shooting Quasar Dragon. In this deck, it's kind of harder to bring out than I thought, especially since I almost brought it out with the wrong materials yesterday. But yeah, the requirements, of course, are a synchro tuner and 2 or more non-tuner synchros. Must be synchro summoned with the above materials. So that would be assuming that you can't special summon it from the graveyard, even if you properly summoned it first. Once per turn, you can target face-up cards on the field up to the number of monsters used to synchro summon. Used as synchro material for this card, +1, negate their effects permanently. This effect's activation and effect cannot be negated. Also, quick effect, you can banish this synchro summoned card and special summon a dragon synchro from your extra deck that requires 2 or more non-tuner synchros as material. This is treated as a synchro summon. So yeah, that's pretty much another way to bring out Shooting Quasar Dragon than the other 2 versions of it, but obviously I'm not going to do that because I hate Shooting Quasar Dragon and Cosmic Blazar Dragon. I will never play them. Fuck them. But yeah, I don't know if I'll keep this in the extra deck really, just because it's a bit tricky to summon, but then again, I can always use my level modulation cards to try and make it easier to bring out. We'll see. And then, of course, the Crimson Dragon. Who'd have thought this would be made into a real card? So this one's very easy to bring out. One of the very few generic level 12s. Just needs a tuner and 1 or more non-tuners. So if this card is special summoned, you can add a spell or trap that mentions the Crimson Dragon from your deck to your hand. Quick effect, you can target 1 level 7 or higher synchro monster on the field, except itself, return it to the extra deck, and if you do, special summon a dragon synchro monster from your extra deck with the same level as that monster. This is treated as a synchro summon. You can only use each effect of the Crimson Dragon once per turn. And for level 10s, I've still got Shooting Star Dragon and a single copy of Satellite Warrior. Had to drop 1 to make room for these guys. And then another new addition, which I don't think was in the last profile, and that is Axel Synchro Stardust Dragon. And in case you don't know what it does, I'll explain that as well. If this card is synchro summoned, you can special summon a level 2 or lower tuner from your graveyard. During the main phase, quick effect, you contribute this card, special summon the original Stardust Dragon from your extra deck. This is treated as a synchro summon. Then immediately after this effect resolves, synchro summon using monsters you control as material. For the rest of this turn, the monster synchro summoned by this effect is unaffected by your opponent's activated effects. You can only use each effect of Axel Synchro Stardust Dragon once per turn. So yeah, that's pretty cool, right? And then, of course, 2 copies of the original Stardust Dragon, my absolute favourite synchro monster in the game. One of the reasons why I made this deck, I made this deck 3 years ago, and I wanted to have like a synchro deck with a Stardust Dragon and Junk Warrior being the main cards. So I guess it doesn't matter how I run this deck really, as long as these two cards are in the deck, that's all that matters. And then of course a single copy of Stardust Spark Dragon and Stardust Charge Warrior. And then for the junk monsters, Junk Destroyer, Junk Berserker, Junk Archer, and of course another of my favourite synchros and one of Yusei's ace monsters, Junk Warrior. And then of course Junk Speeder as well. One of the cards that I think is actually banned from Yu-Gi-Oh! 2.5 format. And then finally, Formula Synchron. And there we go, guys. That is it for the Stardust Junk deck. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and a comment, share, and subscribe if you haven't subbed already. So yeah, like I said, this is one of the decks that I do plan to retire, despite the fact I got this new support, but I wanted to play the new cards and just show it off before retiring it. I mean, like I said, maybe I can try and do like one more match with it where I use the first effect of Revolution Synchron, we'll see. And of course Express Gaming has called dibs on some of the cards in this deck, like her Junk Destroyer being one of them, despite the fact that if I do sell a core, I don't want to break it up. It is quite annoying, but at the same time I'm happy to help out a friend. Anyway, that's all I got. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and yeah, me and Stump here, we'll see you later. Bye bye.